Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the webinar of today, Study Abroad Connect 2025. I mean, it's something big, it's something we've been all anticipating for, and it's quite a lot of things to talk about. We're looking at several communications we're going to look at based on traveling to countries like the UK, Ireland, US, and Canada in particular. I want to welcome everyone, especially in today's webinar, because it's something you're going to receive some informative, some insightful information, and as well also have the opportunity to ask questions, get to know several opportunities available to opportunities that are available in some countries that you probably may not even have idea of. There are loan options, there are scholarship options. There are lots of opportunity. A whole lot of people are not aware of. And that's the essence of today's webinar. Of course, we have some of our guest speakers on the platform already. Divine, I think I can see a few of them anyway. So, but in the course of this, or before the event, before this webinar should end, I think I will have to acknowledge everybody all at once. I think I saw Divine somewhere. And I would like to welcome everyone. I would like to welcome our guest speakers. I would like to welcome our everybody here present for this webinar. Is we're going to be having a great time. And one thing I want you to do before we get started is for you to, if there will be any distraction, I would love you to try to see how you can mitigate distraction so that you can have all the information that you require. Sometimes why we haven't taken some steps in what we would want to do based on our travel process is because of not having the right information. You see, not having that right information that would take us on course to beginning, and as well, finishing our endeavors. So that's what this study Abroad Connect 2025 is about. We're having more people join in, throughout the this segment, and I would love you to also write down your questions. Okay, write down your questions so that when you're given the opportunity to ask questions, you would remember in all of this. We're going to be looking at the UK. We're going to be looking at study opportunities in the UK. We're also going to be looking at in Canada. We're also going to be looking at in Ireland. We're going to be looking at in the US. So, a whole lot of information will be coming to you. And then it can also help you, make a decisive decision on which pathway to go through based on your peculiarity and preference. All right. I would love us to kindly mute ourselves so that we can all hear ourselves, right? You can mute yourself. Please ensure to mute yourself. And then let's not have so much distractions during this webinar. All right. So we're going to get started, and feel free ask questions, but I'll give you that opportunity. No, there won't be a lot of interjections, during the webinar. Once again, I welcome everyone and thank you for joining in. Now, we're going to get started now. Now, firstly, I want to welcome Divine. Divine will be taking us, she's our education consultant in um, for the UK, and she has, so much to tell us about the UK study abroad process. When it also comes to school applications and new immigration rules as well, that would also help you, to um, to to know what's going on concerning the UK. All right, so we have started, and what I'll be doing is, we have some of our guest speakers, for UK, for Canada, for the US, even for Ireland, and even for the study loan application. So we have all of our guest speakers that will be telling us all of these several opportunities. Please, please, please don't miss out on any section at all, because every section is very insightful, very, very informative. Okay, try not to. And please, if you join in, or if for some reason you log out and join in again, please try to mute yourself, okay, so that there won't be discussion, in this webinar. And of course, we are also recording this webinar as well. Let there be no noise interference, during the course of the recording. Thank you. And I would want us to start with the UK study applications. We're starting right away with the UK study application. Now we're going to be hearing mind-blowing opportunities for the UK schools. When it comes to the tuition deposit, when it comes to, a lot of schools in the UK has done some kind of has tried to make some or bring some policies that would also be favorable for, especially Africans, coming over. And I want you to hear these opportunities, for the UK study abroad process. Now, I would like to invite Divine as we get started for the UK study application. Divine, over to you. Okay, is Divine there? Yeah, Divine. Okay, just a moment. Let's all right. I think we'll be starting with Nonya. If you're there, please let's start with the US. Abe for now. Okay, let's start with the US study. Also, here the opportunities available concerning schools. Sometimes a lot of people have this one or I call it a kind of restriction in their mind based on the US. But here would help us to tell us about these opportunities available to the US, even when it comes to financial opportunities available also for those who are planning to come over to the US for through the study abroad application process. Now, okay, Nonya, let me hand over to you. Let us get started. Okay, let's get started.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for making out time to attend this session. Can you hear me?
Yes,
right.
sure.
So,
I can hear you.
Yes, okay. So, the US is a very popular destination, and of course, everyone wants to go to the US, and of course, there is a reason why it is still a leading destination, okay, for all international students as compared to the UK and the Canada destinations as well. So while I share my screen, okay. So why is the US still regarded as a leading destination as compared to other destinations? The US generally has been ranked #1 when it comes to a country having one of the largest economy in the world. So as compared to Canada, UK, Australia, and other destinations, the US has one of the largest economies in the world. And the US as a whole has over 5,300 universities and colleges that accept international students, ranging from public universities to private universities to community colleges. So there are a lot of options for international students. And in the US, we have over 180,000 students actively working in the US, either on OPT, which is called the Optional Practical Training, or other destinations referred to as the postgraduate work permit, or the CPT, which is the curricular practical training, or the co-op as referred to in other destinations. So we have over 180,000 students actively working in the US. An average tuition in the US is about $12,000 okay, after scholarships for some institutions, or less than that for an international student, but an average is about $12,000 US. We have over 10,000 STEM designated programs offering 3 years of optional practical training to international students. So when you talk about STEM, the US is always referred to as a destination with over 10,000 STEM. They have more STEM programs as compared to other destinations. So STEM here refers to as science, technology, engineering, and mathematics programs. And the US is also one of the leading destinations with the highest number of tech job postings as ranked in 2024. So these are some of the top reasons why the US still leads as a study destination. So why should you go to the US? The US has the highest starting salary in the world upon graduation as compared to Canada and UK. The US is about $78,000 annually, for Canada $59,000 annually, for UK $50,000 annually. So the US has the highest starting salary in the world upon graduation. There are no student immigration policies preventing you from coming to the US. And as an international student, you're allowed to work 20 hours per week while studying in the United States. And for every student is eligible for what we call the CPT, okay, or the co-op after one academic year. For some institutions that you apply to as an international student, you're eligible for a CPT from day one of your program. We also have the 3 years optional practical training, which I say that every student in the STEM program gets 3 years optional practical training. So this means that as an international student, you go to the US to study a STEM program. You get 3 years to stay back in the US after your program. But if you are studying a non-STEM program, you only get 1 year to stay back in the USA after your study. So basically, 80% of international students will want to go for a STEM program. So even if they hadn't studied a program in STEM, they want to do like a combination of courses like business administration with a major in information technology, information systems, business analytics. So these are social science courses combined with a STEM program. So that actually makes them a STEM program. So another unique thing about the US is that they offer a flexible system of education. Okay, so as an international student going from the graduate program, you are allowed to choose an undeclared major. For example, you decide to do Bachelor's of Engineering. Engineering is an undeclared major where we have so many other fields in the engineering field. And so you can decide to do Bachelor's of Engineering with no specific major in mind. During your first year and your second year, you're allowed to explore every field under engineering. At your third year, you're allowed to choose a major. So likewise, a student who has already chosen a major and maybe during the course of his study, he feels like, I don't think I'll be able to do well in this course. I don't think this major I'm choosing is still meets my needs and interests. I want to switch to another major in engineering. So that is how flexible the system of education is. Another unique thing about US schools is that they also offer good numerous number of scholarships to international students and also graduate assistantship for postgraduate students. So for an international student, students can get scholarship as low as 1,000 to up to 70% scholarship of their tuition when they apply for admission. So all this actually depends on your academic performance at your previous institution or at your previous high school. We also have graduate assistantships for postgraduate programs. So graduate assistantships are referred to as teaching assistantship or research assistantship. That is what you might refer to as funding that helps assist the students to fund their education in the US. So basically, you are working as a teaching assistant, you are working as a research assistant, and in return, some funds are being paid into your account to help fund your education in the US. So these are the various ways where you can be able to fund your education in the US. So when it comes to another unique good news for international students for the US is that beginning this year, 2025, every student who graduates from the US, either you're going for a bachelor's program, you're going for a master's program, you are going to be entitled to automatic green card upon graduation. So that is one of the reasons why you should go to the US or why you should study in the US. So in the US, we have about 50 states, ranging from states from the Western region, the Midwestern region, the Northeastern region, and the Southern region. We have popular states such as Texas, Illinois, Massachusetts, Ohio, California, and the average cost of living in the US is actually between $10,000 to $25,000 US. So this actually means that the cost of living actually varies by the state you're actually going to. So these are some of the top US companies where you as an international student will be exposed to while studying in the US. We have companies such as Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and the rest. So these are some of the companies where as an international student, you get to do your co-op or your internship while studying in the US. So why applying for a program in the US requires your WAEC, your NECO results, your SAT or ACT examinations are actually optional. The English language test is actually optional. So this should not prevent you from applying for a school in the US. So a minimum should be about 2.0. So looking at your results, you have an overall of B, C's on your results, A's and B's. So that means you're eligible for a program in the US. Your financial statement, letters of recommendation. At the postgraduate stage, we also require your GRE or the GMAT examination. So GRE is mainly for students going for IT program. GMAT is mainly for students going for business programs. So the GRE or GMAT exam will actually vary by the school you are going to or by the program you are going to. Your certificate, your transcript, the minimum CGPA is between 3.0 on a 4-point scale to 2.5 on a 4-point scale. Personal statement, your CV, recommendation letters, financial statement, postgraduate transcripts. If you have done a master's and you want to still go for a second master's program, it's also possible in the US. Your international passport will also be required. So there's also what we call the WEST evaluation. So most of the US schools also try to do a WEST evaluation internally. So the reason for doing WEST evaluation is to see that your degree is equivalent to a US bachelor's degree. So what is an I-20? I-20 is the final document the school gives you to be able to apply for a visa, and before it is being issued to you, before it is being issued to you, must have provided with a bank statement. So when it comes to financial statement, if you've received a government scholarship letter, that can be accepted. If you have a scholarship letter, that can be accepted. If you have a savings account, that can be accepted. If you have also gotten a loan from a finance company, that can also be accepted for a school that is loan eligible. Affidavit of support form if you are sponsoring yourself, if you have a sponsor, international passport. The tuition deposit actually varies by school. So one unique thing about US institutions that most of them do not require a tuition deposit before you can be able to get your I-20. For some schools, they require very low tuition deposits as low as $100 to as high as $2,000 before your I-20 can be issued. So what intake can you option for? For the US, we have three major intakes for the spring and the summer. So the fall starts from the August start date to December start. The spring starts from January to April start. The summer starts from May to August start. So as an international student and you want to apply for a school in the US, it's always advisable to apply 1 year ahead of your program start date. For example, you are going for January next year, you should start your application January this year. So this actually helps you apply on time, get your offer letters on time, get your I-20s on time, and you also be able to get an interview date before your program start date. So these are some of the popular programs which we have, which are being applied by international students. Computer science and business are very, very popular among international students. And these are the various institutions where you can find them. So these are some of the various schools in the US. We have University of New Haven, we have University of Central Missouri, New Jersey Institute of Technology, University of West Florida. We also have schools in the US also accepting higher national diploma. So there is a place for students who graduated with a higher national diploma. These schools can be able to accept your higher national diploma for a direct master's program. So if you have any questions for me, I'll be more than happy to assist you. Thank you.
Nonye, thank you so much. Any question for Nonye based on what you've heard so far, concerning the US study process?
Good afternoon. Yes, I want
Yeah,
to
good
get more
afternoon.
question on bank statements or sponsorship. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Nonye. So he's asking about sponsorship.
Okay, so when it comes to sponsorship for the US, anybody can actually sponsor you. Your direct parents can sponsor you. Your uncle or auntie can sponsor you. Your friends can actually sponsor you. Okay, so if you are picking this sponsor, you also need to know the reason why they want to also sponsor you.
So, like, what's the minimum amount required for from a sponsorship or from a sponsor?
Okay, so the minimum amount required actually varies by the school you're going to. So because most of the financial statements is mostly required by the institution and not by the US Embassy. Okay, so the minimum amount actually varies by the institution you're going to. So it could actually be between $18,000 to $23,000, or it could be higher than that depending on what the tuition of the university is and what the living expenses of the state or where the school is located. For an
So,
average, you could say $23,000.
okay. So, if I have a sponsor, do I still have to have a personal money too? For example, bank statement. If I'm to present my sponsor's bank statement, do I need to present my own too? Is my own bank statement required or a requirement?
Yeah, if you have a sponsor, okay, that you can fully sponsor, that can fully take care of your full education in the US, okay, then there is no point presenting your personal funds. If you want to present your personal funds could be serve as an extra source of fund aside what your sponsor will actually be providing for you. Okay, that's will actually tell the school that you have more than enough funds to be able to take care of your education in the US.
All right. So Philemon, is that well understood? Did you get that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. Thank you. Naya, thank you. There is something I think some people may want to ask you more questions, but we want to pause the question for now so that we can have time to cover all of the application process too. Then we can then have a maybe have a general question everybody could ask, maybe a time apportion to that, but let's just continue with other ones so that they can now and they can now maybe ask later on, towards not just towards the end, but maybe after a while. I was planning on let's have two countries that we can look at and then we can have an open question section. But anyway, it works anyway. But this one is also okay. Okay, let me give one person an opportunity to ask questions, then we can then carry on because I really want us to really look at all other ones, and take advantage of time so quickly. Yeah. No, thank you so much. Any other question? Any other question based on the US study application? Any other question? Does it? Okay, somebody's raising up his hand. You can ask. You can kindly unmute yourself and ask, please. Oh, okay. We have four persons actually. Wow. Okay, let's hear from. Um, who would I call? Babatunde. Let's hear from Babatunde.
All right. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for this session. I want to ask, um, can you recommend? I'm aware that there are some schools that are not tier one schools. I mean, schools that when you submit application to and you get your offer letter, you get your I-20 and all, regardless of the document you provide at the visa stage during the visa interview, because of the tier that the school belongs to, you have a slim chance of getting your visa approved. So could you please talk briefly on that? What are there top tier universities that you can recommend in the US? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. There are top tier universities that I can recommend for you in the US. Okay, schools like Northeastern University located in Boston, schools like John Hopkins University, schools like Arizona State University, schools like University at Buffalo, State University of the New York, schools like New Jersey Institute of Technology. There's just so many top rank. These are top ranked universities in the US that you can be able to apply to. The only thing is that their tuition is very expensive. Okay, if you have a very good academic results, okay, you can be able to scale through the admission process and also be able to get a scholarship. So that's the only difference for this top rank institution. But they are top public universities in the US. So if you have a very good result, you stand a chance of getting a good scholarships from them and be able to attend these universities.
All right. Thank you.
Cindy, have I been able to answer your question?
Yeah, yes, you have. Thank you.
All right.
All right, wonderful. All right, so now there are some other people that want to ask questions. Please, we would love you to write it down so you wouldn't forget, right? Or you can put it in the notes section. Now we want to take all of the school application process, but there will be a time where we'll have a section where we can have ask lots of questions, and then all of our education consultants here present will really give you that attention. Okay, but for the moment, we can only take one or two questions, okay? So that we wouldn't spend a whole lot of time on one study application process. Now, next after this, please write your questions down. We would like to take those questions, okay? We'd like to take those questions. But next after this will be the UK study application process. Now, I have Divine present, okay? Divine, over to you. Tell us everything about the UK, the study opportunities, the scholarships available, the tuition deposit, how UK has made it so easy for education, for students to come into the UK even at this time, the immigration advantages that they have to come over, what the schools are really looking out for, for the master's program. There are those who want to come in with dependents, they are wondering, is it possible? How can they do it? Based on the new policy that came in, was it last year? Tell us how prospective students who are looking at coming to the UK can really take advantage of the several opportunities available at the moment to come into the UK. Thank you so much, Divine. Over to you. Yeah, Divine, are you there? Okay, I think Divine is not yet here. Well, okay. Bukola, just to be sure if you're here, can you answer to me if you're here, Bukola?
Yes, I am.
All right. So, okay, thank you so much. Now, Bukola is our education consultant for for Ireland, Northern Ireland, and it's really, there are some opportunities that actually you would really get interested in, especially the scholarship available. Although I got an information just few days ago concerning the scholarship process of Ireland, which, I mean, for a lot of us, we probably may not have that. We don't have that opportunity again. But apart from that, there are some other opportunities available for students in the island. And Bukola, so many people are not aware of, talking about the 2 years postgraduate work permit that will lead into permanent residency. And also talking about the scholarship opportunity as well, by schools, how you can also take advantage of the immigration process, concerning Ireland, which some people think it is, they see it as a tussle, maybe a lot of things to do and all of that. Please, would like you to tell, break it down for us, and then let us also know that this island is different from the Northern Ireland in the UK, because that's where some people have a kind of this confusion between the two. So tell us so much about the island process and how easy it is for students to take advantage of this process at this time. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Zoom Migration, for this platform and this opportunity. Thank you, everyone, for joining and taking time out of your busy day to listen to us today. My name is Bukola. I am the Ireland specialist on board here, and I'm covering 8 schools, including Dublin Business School, Dublin City University, Maynooth University, University of Limerick, IBAT College Dublin, and Trinity College Dublin as well. So when we're talking about Ireland, we're talking about the Republic of Ireland itself, not Northern Ireland. So Northern Ireland is part of the UK, and I cover Republic of Ireland itself. So when you're applying to come to study with us, you'd be applying for an Irish study visa, not a UK visa. So now, what are the benefits of going to study in Ireland? Number one, Ireland is home to a lot of internationally recognized educational institutions. A lot of our schools in Ireland are renowned, very prestigious schools with very strong standing and accredited programs available. And also, Ireland is perfect for students that want to study anything in the STEM subject. So if you already have a background in global sciences, in technology, in ICT, in computer science, Ireland is perfect for you. Especially for students that want to study things in relating to ICT and tech and computer science. Ireland is regarded as the tech hub of the world. So when you talk about global tech companies like Amazon, like Google, like Microsoft, like Apple, they all have their European headquarters in Ireland. So a lot of the gadgets we're using today, a lot of the phones you're using today, all of those companies all have their European headquarters in Dublin, Ireland. And this creates a perfect opportunity for students that want to work in tech. Ireland is the perfect place for you to start from. Also, Ireland has working opportunities available for students. So you can work while studying. So during your studies, you can work for up to 20 hours per week. And then during the holiday periods, you can work for up to 40 hours per week. Ireland is also regarded as, or studying in Ireland is regarded as a perfect investment for you as an international student, because then you get a faster return on your investment. So what I mean by that is, because of the employability rate of Ireland, there's a very high employability rate. That money that you've invested in your education, you get to make that money back and profit faster, because then you get good jobs and then you get higher pay. So now the average annual salary in Ireland is 45,000 euros to 58,000 euros, which is very high if you compare it to the average annual salary of other countries. So not only are you getting good education at affordable rates, you're also getting access to top employers, and you're also earning more money. So I'm just going to share my screen a bit, because this is an image I like to show students of the type of companies you get access to by going to study in Ireland. So these are all top companies across fields like engineering, like finances, in ICT, in tech, and in marine and energy services. So all of these companies are companies that are partnered with the universities that we work with. So even before you graduate, you can get access to have opportunities, internship opportunities at some of these companies. So in the engineering field, we have companies like Applied Materials and the PM Group. In the pharmaceutical industry, we have companies like Pfizer and Almac. In the financial services, we have companies like Deloitte and Accenture. In ICT, we have companies like Apple, Analog, Microsoft, and Vodafone. In food and beverages, we have companies like Pepsi. And then in marine and energy services, we have companies like Aquafax. So I just like to share this image with us because this gives you an idea into the type of opportunities you have in Ireland. For example, I like to highlight one of the schools we partner with, which is Trinity College Dublin. The school itself is located in Dublin too, which is like the city center of Dublin, and they're on the same streets with Microsoft headquarters. So imagine what that does to you as an international student that has gone to study, let's say, MSc in computer science, and then you're studying at Trinity College Dublin, and your school or your school campus is literally on the same street with Microsoft. So that gives you access to work with top companies, and that's an opportunity that you would only get with Ireland. So now let's talk about the high in demand professions. So we've already established that there are jobs available in Ireland, but these are the high in demand professions in Ireland. So we have professions in business analytics for people that want to study things like business analytics, data analytics, or data science. Ireland is perfect for them because it is a very high in demand profession. We also have professions in the pharmaceutical sciences. So if you have a health related background, and you want to study something in health, you don't necessarily need to go for nursing or public health. You can go to study pharmaceutical science, which is a booming industry in Ireland. We also have industries like investment banking, finance, and accounting. We also have the tech sector, where you have courses like information technology, information science, cybersecurity, software engineering, and software development. And then we also have the engineering sectors as well. Now, talking about the schools we have, okay, let me first talk about the academic levels we have. The minimum entry requirement for an Ireland school at postgraduate level is a 2-2 degree. So you need to have gotten at least a 2-2 in a related field before you can apply for masters or PGD in Ireland. But now, if you have HND or you have BSc third class, there's also an academic level available for you. It's called the higher diploma. So the higher diploma is also a postgraduate level. It's also a postgraduate program, but it's a step lower than masters. So the masters is the level 9 program. PGD is also a level 9 program, but the higher diploma is a level 8 program. So you're getting a postgraduate certificate, but it's not going to be as high as a master's degree. It's very similar to the UK pre-masters. And what that does for you is that you still be eligible to work in Ireland after earning this degree. You don't need to go back to do another master's or go back to do PGD. With your higher diploma certificate, you can get a job in Ireland. So that's just a brief intro on Ireland as a destination and the opportunity it holds for you as an international student. Now let's talk about the schools we have. So my favorite Irish university is the University of Limerick. This is a
you were busy.
Okay. So I was discussing the University of Limerick. This is a very prestigious university in Ireland. The university itself is located in Limerick, Ireland. It's a major city in Ireland as well. The school is home to over 18,000 students, with over 3,300 of them being international students. They are ranked number 96. They rank 96% in terms of graduate employment rate. So this shows you that students that have gone to the school and have graduated have very, very high employability rates. And this is because the school has a unique program.
All right, can anybody hear me? I think she's having some network issues. Let's just give her a few minutes and just a few minutes.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. So
All
my
right,
name is
Divine. Just a moment. Just a moment. Bukola was presenting, but she actually had some network issues. Let's just give her some time to come back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hello, can everyone hear me now?
Yeah, sure. We can hear you now. You went off.
Yeah,
I think you are
sorry,
now aware.
Nigeria, our internet connection. Very bad. So sorry about that. So I was talking about the University of Limerick and how great their employability rate is, and this is because of the first 7-week program available at the University of Limerick. So as an international student, if you're going to the school, for the first 7 week of you joining, you'd be required to do an internship program or like a work study program, and this is because the school wants to help students get working experience while they're studying. So, and most of these internships are usually paid. So this has greatly helped students that would go on to study at this school. The living expense in Limerick, it's 10,000 euros per year, and the average tuition at this school is 16,000 euros. However, I like to point that they have very budget-friendly courses at this school. For example, we have a postgraduate diploma in economics for as low as 4,800 euros for the full year, and it's a 1-year course. So for a student going for that program, all you'd be paying for that 1 year is 4,800. And then we also have a postgraduate diploma in data analytics at the University of Limerick as well for 7,500. So the next school I'll be highlighting today is Dublin Business School. This is one of the most popular universities in Ireland. It's the largest independent third level college in Ireland. It's located in Dublin, and they have 3 different campuses spread around Dublin. And the school itself is home to over 2,700 international students. So when I mentioned the higher diploma program earlier, where I said students with HND and third class can apply for it, this is the school that offers such program. So if you have third class or HND, you can apply for that postgraduate program at Dublin Business School. So it's a business school, but they have courses like computer science, software development, digital marketing, and cybersecurity as well. The third school I'll be highlighting today is Dublin City University. This school itself is also located in Dublin. It's one of the best young universities in Ireland, and they have an average tuition fee of 14,000 euros. And the school has over 80% of their courses have work placements. So if you go to study in this school, there's a very, very high chance your course would have work placement attached to it, and that would help you get working experience even while studying. And most of their work placements are paid ones. So as an international student, when you go to study, let's say you go to study MSc in management at Dublin City University, and you have work placement attached to your program. So what that would mean is you'd be working, and the company where you're doing your internship with would be required to pay you. So you don't need to go to look for job outside. You can work within your school and get paid as well. The fourth school I'll be highlighting today is Maynooth University. This was formerly known as the National University of Ireland. It's a very prestigious school. The school itself is located in Maynooth, Ireland. It's a university town. So the majority of the people that live here are young people. So they have over 15,000 students, with over 4,000 of them being international students. The living expense in Maynooth is 10,000 euros per year, and they have an average tuition fee of 16,000 euros. But like I mentioned earlier, they also have very budget-friendly courses. You can find courses ranging from 12,000 euros at this school. The fourth or the fifth school I'll be highlighting today is Trinity College Dublin. This is the #1 university in Ireland. It's the most prestigious school in Ireland. The same way we have Oxford University or Cambridge University for other countries, we have Trinity College Dublin for Ireland. So I mentioned earlier that it's a very prestigious school, so their tuition fee is a bit on the high side. So the average tuition fee at Trinity College Dublin is €21,000, but they have a professional Masters of Education. This is a professional masters for students that already have a background in education. So if you have a B.Ed degree, you can apply for this program at Trinity College Dublin, and the tuition fee for this is €11,000, which is literally half of what other programs at this school cost. So if you have €11,000 for your studies, please apply to Trinity College Dublin for their professional Masters of Education program. You would not only be getting world-class education, you'd be studying at the most prestigious school in Ireland. And then the last school I'll be highlighting today is University College Cork. This is also, I think, the #3 school in Ireland. It's a very prestigious university. They are a research-led university, and it's also Ireland's first 5-star university. So they have a 97% graduate employability rate. This shows you that the school is well-renowned, and the students that do study at this school have very, very high employability rates. Another thing I would like to share today is for students that want to study in Ireland, you would be required to provide English language certificates. So this is because this is a major requirement for all international students. If you don't have this at the application stage, that's fine. You can submit your application with just your WAEC or your NECO results. But when you do get an offer or when you get admission, you would be required to provide the English language certificates. Now, all of the English language tests are accepted. If you have IELTS, you can bring that. If you have any of the Cambridge certificates, you can also provide that. We also accept PTA Academics and Duolingo. So for affordability, I would suggest students go for the Duolingo option. So now when it comes to our visas are usually straightforward. We need normal visa documents like your passports. You need to write an application letter. You need your offer letter from your university, which is your admission letter. You need your English language test. You're also going to be providing medical insurance. So medical insurance in Ireland costs €200, and you're also going to be paying a visa application fee of €60. And then you'll also pay $29 for biometrics. So if you look at it, Ireland has one of the cheapest visa payments or visa fee. I think for other countries it's ranging from €200 and above, but for Ireland it's €60, and then you pay $29 for biometrics. If you convert it to Naira, everything you're going to be spending is not even up to 150,000 Naira. So this is how the visa process goes. As soon as you collect all your documents, an account will be created for you on the application website, and then you'd fill in your information, and then you'd submit your documents when you go to give your biometric information. So this is the post-study work options you have. As an international student, if you've gone on to study in Ireland, you have automatic post-study options. If you've studied at undergrad level, you can stay back in Ireland for 1 year. This is given to you automatically, provided you have graduated from your school. So if you've studied at the bachelor's level, you can stay back for 1 year. And if you've studied at MSc level, you can stay back for 2 years. So within this 1 or 2 year period, you're expected to get a job in Ireland. So now this is where it becomes good. When you do get a job, you're going to be getting 2 different types of work permits. The first type is called the General Skills Employment Permit. So this is one that allows you to stay back in Ireland to work. Your family can join you at this stage, and then you can get permanent residency in as little as 5 years. But the one specifically that international students are going for right now is called the Critical Skills Employment Permit. So now this shows that what you have studied or the type of job you are doing is critical to the Irish economy. So if you've done courses like data science or anything related to IT, if you've done any health course, if you've done any business course as well, or you've done any engineering course, and you've gotten a job in that same field, the type of work permit you'd be getting is called the Critical Skills Work Permit. And the benefit of this is you get to apply for permanent residency in 2 years. So now, first of all, you're getting permanent residency in as little as 2 years. So if you're studying at, let's assume you've gone to study MSc in computer science, a 1 year program, you've graduated, gotten a job, and you've worked for 2 years, then you can apply for permanent residency. So give or take, you just need to stay in Ireland for a period of 3 years, and then you can get permanent residency. Also, if you have a family, if you have a wife, if you have a husband, if you have children, your permanent residency status is covering both you and your dependents. So it's covering the entire family as long as they are registered under you. Another thing, you also earn more money. So because you're studying or because you're working in a critical skills capacity, the amount of money you would be earning is going to be significantly higher than those for students that are working in a general skills employment capacity. So that's all from my end today. For any questions, I think we can take that after the meeting. And please reach out to the Migrations for all your Ireland applications. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Bukola. Really, really wonderful. This is very, very concise. All right. I just want one person to ask you a question, right? Remember, we will have that time where everyone will ask questions towards the end so that we can have a collective section for that. But just one person, asking you a question. Okay, I can see a hand. You can unmute yourself and speak now. Okay.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yeah,
hear
yes,
you.
we
Hi,
can hear
good
you.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. So I want to ask about this Ireland University because it has a lot of opportunities. So I want to ask for about undergraduate students, like how undergraduate students can apply for like universities in Ireland. So I want to ask like my WAEC, NECO, and then stuff like about can I use my WAEC and NECO? And then what are other things? Because you mentioned English language certificates. So apart from that, and then what can I add with my WAEC, NECO, and other things, and is it acceptable for Ireland?
Okay, so that's a good question. So for undergrad students, most of them would be required to do foundation before they do year one. So foundation is like pre-degree. So the only students that won't be required to do foundation are if your WAEC result has lots of A's and B's. If you have, let's say, parallel A's or parallel B's, then you can get direct year one for some courses. But if you want to study specialized courses like engineering or courses like nursing or any courses in the healthcare sector, you would be required to do foundation. So with just your WAEC certificate, if you want to study a specialized program or if you have lots of C's in your WAEC, you need to start from foundation. And if you've done something other than WAEC, so let's assume you've done 100 level here in Nigeria and then you want to transfer to Ireland, you can use that to skip the foundation class. Or if you've done OND or if you've done any sort of diploma course, you can use that to skip ahead to direct year one. But in most cases, you'll be required to start from foundation level. So now if you're starting from foundation, it's just like you'd be getting admission to a college, not necessarily a university. So the college is just like a preparatory college to prepare you for year one in a university. All of the schools have colleges attached to them. So let's assume you're going to Trinity College Dublin, for example. They have a college for foundation level students. There you do a 8-month foundation program. And upon completion of that program, you do direct entry to year one. So you're not going to come back to Nigeria and reapply for another visa. It's just like going from SS2 to SS3. So it's direct progression. So you're going to be given a 4-year study permit because the BSc programs itself are for 3 years. But because you're doing foundation, which is another additional 8 months, they're going to give you 4-year permit. If you're doing your foundation, you've completed it, you move directly to year one, year two, then year three, then you graduate. So that's how it works. If you don't want to do foundation, you need to have done something other than WAEC, or you need to have a very, very good WAEC result.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Bukola. Bukola, please, I think some other people have questions, but please, we'll have to take the question towards the end. We would like to move to another section of this webinar for the UK study application. Now that should have come first, okay? But we're having it at this time. I'm not so sure if Divine is here. Divine, are you
I'm
here?
here. Hi.
Oh, beautiful,
Hello,
beautiful.
everyone. Hi.
Over to you. I've introduced you more than twice now, so you have the
So
platform.
sorry. So sorry. I was in 3 different meetings. Can you imagine? I'm telling you, it's crazy today. Today is just a crazy day. But it's all good. I love crazy days. I hope you guys will like crazy days. Oh yeah. So my name is Divine. I'm an international recruitment manager at Board, and it's nice to see you guys here today. So today I'm going to be discussing about the UK, which I know many of you you're very familiar with the UK destination. So now the question is, what are the benefits of you studying in the UK as an international student? First of all, you need to know that the UK's universities offers a well-rounded experience from world-class education to career and settlement options. All right. So is a home to prestigious universities like Cambridge, Oxford, Imperial College London, most of the Ivy League schools that you know in this world, and all those ones that do a lot of research and innovation opportunities that cut across different disciplines. You will find them in UK. All right. And also UK have UK certificates are globally recognized, which means if you study in the UK, your certificate can open door for you to to work in international organization anywhere in the world, be it in Europe, be it in Ireland, be it in Canada, US. Mention it will be widely accepted. You can study, you can get jobs in Rolls-Royce, for example. Yes, and Rolls-Royce have a very big company in the UK. And also you can work in Amazon, you can work in Tesla, you can even work, like some of you here, the guys especially that like playing football. You know that most of these football headquarters are in the UK, like Manchester United fans, Liverpool, what do you call it? You guys know them, right? Chelsea and so on and so forth. Their stadium and their headquarters are situated in the United Kingdom, and of course they are the champions in football. So imagine working in their own company, live and direct, and you will be well paid because their UK currency is very, very strong, one of the strongest in the whole world. You can do your research. £1 to naira now, I don't know how much it is, but it's around 2,000 plus. So you're going to be working in a place where you know that the money you are earning is one of the strongest in the whole world. Now, talking about the certificate as well, UK have one of the shorter and cost-effective degrees. All right, their bachelor's degrees is 3 years compared to Nigeria, which is 4 years. That is if there is no strike, right? If there is strike, it might lead to 5, 6, 7 years. While master's degree is just 1 year, you are done. That is the standard UK degree. All right, thereby you will be able to save tuition fees and living costs while accelerating your career growth. And also, as you're studying as an international student, you are also privileged to work for 20 hours per week and then full-time during the holidays. All right, and then you earn. And also, when you are done, you also have opportunity to stay and work in the UK for 2 to 3 years after graduation. And you also have direct access to global employers, internships, and high-paying jobs, just like I mentioned. That's why you see so many people that want to, especially those people that are into STEM programs, like engineering, nursing, economics, and so on and so forth. There are different types, biomedicals, and so on and so forth. UK is the best place you can study because you're going to have access to a lot of global companies and also high-paying internships in UK and outside of the UK as well. Now, another thing you will benefit is financial support and scholarships. UK schools have wide range of scholarship and bursaries and grants for international students, both merit and unmerit, depending on the specific field of study. We have schools that can give you up to 50% scholarship, merit scholarship, as an international student in the UK. We have a lot of them, especially for students that want to go for post-study, like master's program in STEM field program. Okay, you have a lot of scholarship opportunities. Now, apart from STEM field program, even if you want to do business, okay, business programs, art programs, there is wide range of opportunities for you. So you don't need to, be scared of, okay, if I'm doing art, does it mean that I don't have any opportunity? Everybody have opportunity as long as you're an international student. Now, apart from this support, there is also, like I said earlier, your UK degree is highly valued worldwide. Global job if your work experience in UK can also give you the privilege to have a as a skilled worker in the UK. Yeah. And also their living expenses is also affordable and student friendly. Now, we have lots and lots of schools in the UK, depending on your budget. This is what I usually tell students. If you want to travel to the UK, UK destination is also the most friendly Nigerian destination. You know why? Almost all students, in fact, any student that applies to the UK, as long as you meet their eligibility criteria, you will definitely get a visa. Their visa approval rate is almost like 100% to compare to any destination in the world. That is the truth. So what does that mean? It means that if you apply for a UK visa before a Canadian visa or any other type of visa, that your UK visa will be out before any other visa. And before you know it, you're already in the UK. So it's stressless, it's seamless, it's friendly, and it's high valued. All right. Now, we have schools that their tuition fee ranges from 2,500 pounds to 10,000, 15,000, 50% tuition fee pounds. Okay, depending on your budget. That is why I said anytime you want to work with a UK school, first of all, you need to check your budget, because we have different schools with different budgets, with different offers. So the question is, what are you looking for? And how much do you have? How much can you pay to get your to get the program you want to study in the UK? All right. So quickly, we are going to be looking at some of those schools. Currently, some of you will be asking me, oh, but I heard that UK accepting dependents. What if I have I want to travel with my wife and kids? How about that? What is going to happen to me and my wife? I want to travel with my wife. Oh, don't worry. UK have you. We got your back. So I'm going to be sharing my screen with you. I would like us to look at some of those schools that you can travel with your with your dependents in the UK. So hope you guys can see my screen. Hope you guys can see my screen. Please, I need you to talk because I'm no longer seeing you guys. I'm looking at my screen as well.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah,
Sure,
right.
yes, we can see your screen.
Thank you. Yeah. So now, in 2023, the UK government announced that they will no longer be accepting international students with their dependents. The reason being that it brought another pressing need for housing, accommodation, and other political issues, which is not our business right now. However, there is a caveat. The caveat is that if you're an international student studying, going to study for any of the research courses, that is master's research, which we call MRes programs, because I know some of you must have heard of those kind of programs, MRes. All right. Now, there are some schools that if you go for their MRes programs, you can travel with your dependents. Yes, we have them. Now, as an international student, if you have HND, lower credit, upper credit with ample work experience, third class, second class lower, second class upper, first class, we can get programs that are suitable for you, which you can use to travel with your dependents. You can work your 20 hours, your dependents can work full-time, all right? And then you also have your 2 to 3 years PGWP waiting for you at the end of your program. That is fantastic. And I forgot to mention, UK have a very flexible opportunity, very flexible application process, unlike other destinations. What do I mean by that? When you are putting up application to study in the UK can accept, they can assess you in various ways. You might not be able to meet up the eligibility criteria in terms of CGPA. Let's say a program requires you to have a 2-1, a 2-1, but you have 2-2, right? But however, you have ample experience in that program. You have up to 2 to 3 to 5 years experience, work experience in that program, or you have expressed your true desires or intentions to study in that program. Guess what? UK will process that application and you have a very high chance of getting that program. Unlike some other destinations where if you're not able to meet up with the CGPA requirement, you are cut off immediately. Once they look at your CGPA requirement, if it's a 2-1 that they are requesting, but you have a 2-2, if you like, let your 2-2 be 3.45 or 3.49. As long as it is not a 2-1, that your application will be cancelled. But if it's UK will not do that. UK will still consider you for that program because they look at every other documents before they can now make their decision. All right. So what does that mean? What it means is be free. Don't be scared when you want to apply for UK. Relax. UK have your back. Just make sure that you bring your documents. Okay. And also, when you are doing it, do a good personal statement, about the program you want to study. Once you are able to write a very good personal statement, then put up your application. And let me tell you another beautiful thing about UK. All their schools are application free. That means you don't need to pay a dime to get an offer. You are not paying anything. That is wonderful. Unlike some other destinations where you need to pay application fee. You don't need to do that for UK. And their turnaround time for offer is very, very fast. One of the fastest that I've seen so far. So now, we have, if you look at my screen, you'll see University of Gloucester. This is one of the schools that offers MRes programs, that is Masters of Research programs in the UK, where you can travel with your dependents. This program, imagine this is a research program, and the typical research program is a PhD program, and every PhD program they're supposed to be asking you for a supervisor, right, or a proposal. Or in fact, that's what the documentation requirements supposed to be. But in some of these UK schools, like I said, the flexibility of the application process, you don't even need that. For this program, for example, the tuition fee for 1 year is just 13,425, and there is a scholarship attached to this, right? And then you don't even need to provide a supervisor or write a research proposal. This is amazing. This is amazing. And on top of that, you're coming with your dependents. You see, so you don't need to, like I said, UK is very flexible, very, very flexible. So feel free to put up your UK applications through Z-Blocks Immigration. I'm very, very sure they got your back when it comes to that. And then look at another school, University of Lancashire, Preston, same thing, and Nottingham Trent University. Please note that there are some schools in the UK that have research programs, but they are not MRes programs that you can take your dependents or travel with your dependents. So what I mean is that not all schools accept international students with, even if you are coming to do a research program in quote, not all of them will still accept you to come with your dependents. So you need to talk with Nnamdi, that's Z-Blocks. You need to chat him so that he can be able to assist you with those programs and schools that you can travel with your dependents in case if you want to travel with your dependents. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. So if you have any question, before I forget, we also have some of these schools in the UK that are loan eligible. What do I mean by that? It means that these schools, as an international student, you can also apply for loan. Yes, and the school, the loan company is definitely going to pay off your tuition fee. So you don't need to be stressing yourself about paying your tuition fee for those particular schools. And we have lots and lots of them. Let me just highlight a few of them from my end, so you can see some of those schools that we have that doesn't require loan. Okay, so I've selected it. So here are some of the schools that we have that you don't need that you don't, if you need loan, for example, Cardiff University is one of them. Okay, and this Cardiff University, you can apply for any of these programs that you are seeing here popping out on the screen. You can apply for them and you can get your loan. Likewise, University of Hertfordshire, all right, and University of Nottingham, same thing. Okay, we also have okay, I need to increase my search so more programs can come out. Okay, University of Nottingham, University of Hertfordshire, yeah, Cranfield University. This is also one of the best, one of the top selling universities in the UK. All right, and so on and so forth, so on and so forth. If we start looking at them, there are many of them. So let me quickly stop here. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask your questions. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Divine. Amazing. Okay, just something to add to what you said, talking about the school applications, the various opportunities available. You didn't talk about the tuition deposit. I think you mentioned that, but you didn't actually, for as low as how much can someone pay for a tuition deposit? And then how long does it take to get, I think you mentioned that, how long does it take to get your offer letter, then immigration process, like visa application, how long does it take? Looking at somebody who is intending to come to the UK in the month of, let's say, May, September, what's the time frame for the person, and things like that. So if you can just touch on that, then I think one person raised up his hand. We'll take one question, but of course we'll take all of the questions much later. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah. Now, regarding the tuition deposit, I mentioned it earlier. We have lots of, we partner with almost all the top schools in the UK. So I can't be talking about every school talking about their tuition deposit, but I mentioned the average. All right, average tuition fee from 2,500 upwards. You have schools that you can pay your tuition fee 2,500. We have the one of 3,000. We have 4,000, we have 5,000. Okay, we also have the ones that are 50% tuition fee. Everything depends on your budget. On your budget, remember, on your budget, please. Okay, somebody like Lawal Elijah, he's so bossed up. He will be like, oh, Nande, I want to travel. I want to go to the UK. I want some of the Ivy League schools. Don't worry, money is not a problem for me. I can pay up to £30,000, right? So once you put up an application for him, you already know, and to a school like University of maybe University of Edmonton or something, and then he gets an offer and pays his tuition deposit. For example, if the tuition deposit is 50% and the tuition fee is £30,000, that is 15,000, right? He's okay. He doesn't mind. Meanwhile, someone like Blessing might not have that kind of money. Blessing is trying to manage herself. So when she meets you, she'll be telling you, please get a school for me that have scholarship. Okay, get a school for me that the tuition fee should be around £2,000 or 2,500 or £3,000, which is the lowest. Do you understand? So work with the students based on their budget. There's no need calling names of money here when you don't have it. I mean, it's out of your budget. Do you understand? Now that's one. Then regarding the visa process,
and you are talking about tuition deposit.
Yes,
okay,
I talked about, you mentioned tuition deposit now. Yes. Anything money, when it comes to UK schools, it depends on the student budget. Work with their budgets. The lowest tuition fee for a master's program, okay, and also bachelor's degree program, the lowest tuition fee that we have is £10,000. That is the lowest for masters, direct masters, because we have pre-masters, okay? For direct masters, it's 10,000. So please work with the student budget. The student budget is what will determine the school that the student wants to apply. That is one. Then secondly, regarding the visa process, I mentioned earlier when I started that UK have the best visa process for Nigerians, about 100% visa approval. And I told you that if, for example, somebody like Bukola puts up an application to study in Ireland, and I put up an application to study in UK, and the time frame for example is May intake, right? And we put up the application. My visa for UK will come out if my offer is out now. This is March. My visa will be out by April, May, using the priority, super priority visa routes, and that is very, very fast. Do you understand? So when it comes to the UK visa route, and also I mentioned that their bank statement is 28 days. That is the lowest. Which other school, which other destination gives you bank statement of 28 days? That destination. There is no other destination. What it means is you can bring your proof of funds for just 28 days. 28 days. Island is around 4 months or so, 6 months for some destinations. So it's the easiest. Very easy. Before you know it, you get your visa, you travel. Travel with your family if you want to travel with your family, or you travel alone, depending on your choice. So did I answer your question?
Yeah. All right. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I think someone has a question. I'm trying to see if we can take one question from someone, and then
I thought I saw her hand.
I think I saw Adam raising up his hand, but he's no longer here.
Blessing, please go ahead.
Okay. All right. Blessing has a question. All right. Let's take from Blessing.
Good afternoon.
We continue.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Good afternoon. Yeah. Yes, we can hear you.
I heard what you said, and my question is back to the loan aspect, where you have to maybe get a loan to study masters, because it's masters I really want, and showing your proof of funds. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Showing your proof of funds. What's about it?
Yes, after the bank has cleared your tuition fee, are you going to show them proof of funds? Since you are not the one that paid the money directly. Like you showed us some schools that accept loan, that gives loan. Like I saw Nottingham and other schools.
Yeah.
So now, if I apply for Nottingham now because they give loans, in my visa application, am I going to still show them the 28 days of proof of funds?
Yes, you are. You're going to show it. I think when the loan guy comes in, he's going to explain more on that. So, but if you have any question regarding the UK school, any question at all, feel free to ask. I believe when the loan guy is here, he's going to talk more about it. All right. Okay. Any other question?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Divine. Blessing. Yeah. What will happen is we have a session where we'll talk about the study loan application process. Okay, to the US, to the UK, to Canada. We have Kibuzo is here with us, and he's going to tell us everything about the study loan application, because a lot of people have been asking me questions on that. How long does it take to repay, the interest rate, all of those details. We're going to talk about it in a jiffy, okay, very soon. So but for now, we want to just talk about the various pathway process, and then you can consider which one would I want to get right into based on your preference. Okay, and then just like Divine said, UK actually has the quickest of it all. Both in visa application, both in offer letter, admission offer letter, and then even the tuition deposits really, is quite very low. Now, a whole lot of countries also have their different, opportunities as well. Now, we're going to go into Canada. I'm seeing lots of hands on. Please write down your question. You can put it on the notes. We would want to take those questions, and we're going to make a session for that. Okay, we don't want so much interruption in between, because we want to get into everything. And the reason why we want to talk about all of it as it is now is because we want you to have a lot of options. We don't just want to talk about US alone, or maybe talk about Canada alone, or talk about UK alone. We want to talk about, all like these four majorly, and then you can have an idea of really which one suits your preference. Now, we're going to go into Canada now, but in Canada, we'll get into a particular school. Okay, a particular school. I think Sonia is here, so we'll be taking University of Windsor, and then she's going to be talking to us about the University of Windsor and some opportunities that prospective students can would have coming over. Then right after that, we'll be having the study loan application process. Okay, being narrated on the study loan application process. Now that part is very, very important. It would cushion, for some people who don't have enough financial funding, the study loan would cushion your finance. Now, it's very important that you stay on that, because Chibuzo is here with us, and he will really give you all of the details, from the beginning to the end. You're going to get all of those information, and you can even start right away, because the idea, the goal for us, the vision for us is that we want lots of people, to achieving their dream of traveling, studying abroad, relocating abroad this year. The 2025 is so young. It's still young, and between now and the end of the year, it is possible. It is really, really possible. Even finances can't even hold you again. Okay. Now, but meanwhile, at the moment, we're going to be looking at Windsor, University of Windsor, and then after that, we'll be coming into the study loan application process. All right. So, Sonia, over to you now. Yes, Sonia, are you there?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot to take myself off mute. So I was saying,
right.
Hi everyone. My name is Sonia. Thank you so much, Namdi, for putting together this session, and hopefully to be a wonderful opportunity for me to be able to share amazing opportunities that await international students at the University of Windsor. So I'll just be going straight into why Canada is still a very choice destination. Now, I believe that a lot of people might have lost hope in Canada because of the recent changes, the IRCC policy regarding PGWP eligibility and, open spousal work permits. And it has left people feeling a little bit uncertain as to whether Canada is still worth the investment. So before I even go into the highlights about our school, I would like to kind of discuss why Canada is still a choice and top destination for international students. When it comes to the study aspect of Canada, Canada still remains one of the top countries that offers globally recognized programs in globally recognized universities and colleges. And they have one of the best diverse range of programs and fields of studies compared to most countries, and they have one of the highest standard of public education system and research opportunity. And when it comes to the work aspects, Canada still remains one of the best countries that offer opportunities for internships and paid co-op programs, and give students opportunities to gain valuable work experience while they're still studying. Now, when it comes to the day-to-day living aspect of Canada, it's still one of the countries rated as the best quality of life, one of the safest countries in the world, and still one of the best countries that offer the variety of PR opportunities to international students and migrants as well. Now, moving forward as to why University of Windsor. Now, let me just go a little bit about our location. University of Windsor is located in the Ontario province of Canada, right, in a city called Windsor, Essex. Now, Windsor, Essex is known to have one of the best weathers and share a very close proximity to a state in the US called Detroit. Now, if you look at this slide, you can see where University of Windsor is located is literally just a lake separating us from Detroit. Now, international students that study at the University of Windsor, alumni have known to, go over to this city in the US for like shopping or fun activities, right? So we can comfortably tell you that our student gets to experience the best of both worlds when it comes to University of Windsor. They get to study in Canada and still experience life in the US. Now, aside that, we are also close to Chicago too in the US. So basically, we are within proximity of several landmarks and several countries and cities as well. Now, when it comes to the highlights of the city, University of Windsor is home to one of the safest communities in Canada and is renowned for its affordable cost of living. It is 44% more affordable than most major cities in other countries, and making it one of the best locations for excellent employment opportunities. And like I earlier highlighted, we have one of the best aesthetically pleasing environments. We have like almost like 5 lakes surrounding us. We have one of the best weathers in Canada, and we are ethnically diverse. We have over 340,000 population in Windsor, and of which 22% are international migrants, which includes students, of course. Now, when it comes to University of Windsor, we come very highly ranked and globally recognized. Now, we are not offering you just the average, education. We are not offering you an opportunity for you to like jackpot to Canada. We are making sure that you get the best of the best. We're making sure that our certificates will give you the platform you need to excel in the world, because basically we know that part of the reasons why we invest so much money in, this education in international countries is the fact that we want to be able to settle down and work. Now, if you are given the opportunity to study at one of the best and renowned universities in the world, because we are top 5% world universities ranking. So of all the universities in the world, we are ranked top 5%, and we are ranked number 7 best non-medical university in Canada. So when I say we are highly ranked, we are definitely highly ranked, and our certificates are globally recognized. So even eventually if our students or graduates decide to not settle in Canada and maybe decide to go to other countries like UK or US, our certificate is still very much recognized and globally renowned. So it's giving them a platform that they would need to be able to land a job faster, and giving them like a leverage over other graduates in Canada. Now, that's what some of the features University of Windsor is offering to international students. Now, moving forward, we are well known for our course-based masters, which we call the ICBM, International Course-Based Masters. Now, these are programs that are within 16 months wage, which perfectly fits into the IRCC policy that says that your master's program, your graduate programs have to be 16 months and above for you to be able to bring your spouse, and for your spouse to be able to have open work permits. Now, it's good to note that all our ICBM programs are within 16 months, and any students that apply to study at any of these programs that you've seen listed here will be able to bring their spouse along with them, and their spouse will be eligible to work as well. And it's very notable to point out that all the programs at the University of Windsor are all eligible for 3 years postgraduate work permits. Now, it's actually a feat. It's something to be proud of, because we are so renowned and well recognized that we were exempted from this policy. So University of Windsor is giving you the 100% assurance that whatever program you wish to study at the University of Windsor, despite if it's at the undergraduate level or the graduate level, or even if it's PhD level, it is all eligible for 3 years postgraduate work permits, which means that after you graduate, you're eligible to apply to stay back for 3 years. And moving forward, I'll tell you why this is ample chance for you to utilize the investment you've put into University of Windsor. Now, example of our ICBM programs are actuarial science, which is one of the most affordable programs you have in this section. It is 18,400 Canadian dollars per year. Now, we have applied computing. It's very popular for IT-based students because it has co-op opportunities. And most of our co-op opportunities at the University of Windsor comes with paid opportunities. So the students will be able to gain valuable work experience while they're studying and still be able to get paid for it. So another program is the Applied Economics and Policy. And a very special program to the University of Windsor for this ICBM program is our engineering program. One, because we have over 7 specializations under this faculty. We have automotive engineering, civil engineering, electrical and computer engineering, environmental, industrial materials, and of course, mechanical engineering. Now, why it's also special is because if you put in the application for these engineering programs, whether it's undergraduate or graduate program, you'll be able to get your offer within 24 to 48 hours, as long as you're eligible and you're qualified for this program. So this is one of the only programs available at the University of Windsor that offers you this opportunity. So if you know you have an engineering background, and you wish to further your master's in Canada, University of Windsor will be your best bet for engineering program, which means if you apply now, within a couple of days, you get your offer, and you might just well be on your way to Canada as we speak for the September 2025 intake. Now, we also have the education faculty for students that wish to pursue a career in teaching. We have undergraduate and graduate programs under this faculty. Now, our management program is also very popular for international students because here you can find our Master of Management in Business Data Analytics, Master of Management in International Accounting and Finance, Master of Management in Human Resource Management, and the last one is Master of Management in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. So basically, if you have a background in business or management and you want to further your master's within that same specialization, then University of Windsor will be your best bet. And it's also very affordable. We have programs ranging within 21,000 to 29,000 Canadian dollars per year for this faculty. Now, for our medical or health-related students, we have our medical biotechnology. It's very popular and it's available for the September 2025 intake as we speak. So if you have a health-related background, you did microbiology, biochemistry, then this program is the best opportunity for you. An amazing point for our ICBM program is that it is a 2 years master's that is rounded up in 16 months, which is giving you the ample opportunity to round off your studies in time, apply for your postgraduate work permit, and be able to search for a job. And which I can promise you that it won't take long when it comes to University of Windsor. And moving forward, I will be able to tell you why this is so. Now, moving forward are just a couple of slides, especially for the programs within the ICPM programs like I've listed, the Master of Actuarial Science, and their individual admission requirements. Now, it's good to note that our ICPM programs request for a 70% CGPA and above, which translates to second class upper and above. So students with a 2.2 are not eligible to apply at the University of Windsor. So if you have a student with like a 2.1 and above, they will be able to apply at the University of Windsor, but it must be in a related subject. Now, it depends on the program. Some specific modules or subjects are requested to be in your transcript for you to be considered for that program. So for engineering programs, you need to at least have like statistics, mathematics, physics, chemistry, or engineering in your modules for your transcript, and you'll be eligible to apply. Now, it has come to my notice that fortunately for Nigerian students, most African countries, English language proficiency is waived if you have at least a B3 in your WAEC. So if you have at least a B3 and above in your WAEC, you don't need to present any other English language proficiency documents. But if it's anything below a B3, maybe like a C4 or a C5, then you need to provide like an IELTS with an overall score of 6.5. But alternatively, we also accept Duolingo with a limit of 120. So within 120 to 130, you should be able to, meet the English language requirements. That is, if you don't have up to a B3 in your English, in your WAEC or your NECO. So moving forward, I just like I said, the breakdown of most of the programs that I've highlighted in the ICBM programs. Now, it's good to note that most of our programs are available for the 3 intakes of the year, which is the fall, winter, and the spring. So currently, the May intake has closed. So we are fully accepting applications for the September 2025 intake, which is the fall intake, and the January 2026 intake, which is the winter 2026 intake. So if you have students that are eligible to apply to University of Windsor, these intakes are very much available for you to put in the application. And please remember that the sooner you put in application, the sooner you get your offer. That is, of course, for the Master of Engineering, which you can get your offer within 24 to 48 hours. Every other program has a typical turnaround time of 2 to 4 weeks. Now, if you apply now for our September intake, there are good chances that you get your offer within 2 weeks. But if you apply much later in an intake, your offer might take as long as 4 weeks because of the influx of applications that the admissions team would need to deal with. So I would really urge you to put in an application as soon as possible if you're looking to meet up with the September 2025 intake. Now, moving forward to the part where I'm sure most of us are curious about is the tuition fee range. Now, I highlighted a little bit, but let me just go straight into it. For the tuition fee range for the undergraduate program is within, we have programs that range within 29,000 to 39,000 Canadian dollars per year, right, for the undergraduate program. So it depends on the program the student opts for. And for the course-based masters, which is the master's program, we have programs that are ranging within 18,400 Canadian dollars to, let's say, 33,000 Canadian dollars, which our most expensive program is our MBA program, right? But our master in actuarial science and master in engineering management are one of our most affordable programs, which is 18,400 Canadian dollars per year. Now, our initial deposit is one of the most affordable you can find. For the undergraduate program, the initial deposit is 1,500 Canadian dollars. So which basically means that once your student applies and gets an offer, the student will just need to pay 1,500 to the school to be able to get the PAL and the final offer to be able to proceed to the visa study permit application, which is the visa stage, right? Then the initial deposit for master's program is 4,000 Canadian dollars. Again, same thing applies. Once you pay 4,000 Canadian dollars, you should be able to get all the documents you need from the school to apply for your visa. And I would really like to note that University of Windsor is one of the very few schools eligible for loan. So I'm sure you'd hear the loan person speak next. So it's good to note that if you are you're an intending master's student and maybe you're financially limited, but you qualify to apply to University of Windsor, the loan option is open to you as a financial support, right? So moving forward, I'm sure you get much details about that. And I'm also available for questions at the end of the session. And also, just to quickly round up for the University of Windsor, we do have scholarship of 20,000 Canadian dollar for undergraduate program, but it is for academically outstanding students. So students with straight A's and B's in their WAEC should be able to get a merit-based 20,000 Canadian dollars. And then for international based master's is 4,000 Canadian dollars. Again, is for first class, maybe a very strong 2-1 and the first class that would be eligible for this. But again, as a financial support, the loan option is also available. And I earlier mentioned finally about our co-op opportunity. It is paid. It is one of the best in Canada because we are partnered with one of the best establishments in Canada. We are partnered with PepsiCo, we are partnered with Diego, we are partnered with so many established or renowned establishments in Canada that, you know, offer co-op opportunities to our students. So it's also paid. So I urge international students, when you're applying to our international or basically our undergraduate and our graduate program, you should opt for the co-op program so that you'll be able to gain valuable work experience that would help you moving forward in your career search.
Sonia. All right,
Yeah.
Sonia, please, I have to come in to time. We're trying to manage time now.
All right, so that's
okay. Just
for
can,
University of Windsor.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, you know, Windsor is really one of the top schools in Canada. And, you know, I'm so happy that you really talked about, the information you gave. But, okay, I think one or two persons may have a question, but we want to take all the questions at the end now because we have just one section to have. Then we can now round up the webinar. Now, the most another insightful section that we're having now is the study loan application. Now, this study loan application is something that everybody has been wanting to know about, and before now, one of the things that we have in terms of schooling, right? And then some other maybe they are looking for financing that could cushion what they already have. Now, this is not the time where you would say the reason I couldn't continue my processing is because of I don't have so much finance to further. You know, no, at this time, you know, we've made it so much easy for you that you can actually decide to start up your application now. You know, no matter the fund that you have now, between now and when you have all available, you know, of course, you know, at least there are some other ones too. For example, the study loan application, you know, which you can take advantage of. Now we're going to hear more details on this, and I would like you to keenly hear details on this, and then right after this, we'll take all the questions based on all of what we've had so much now, you know, on the very pathways, you know, the UK, Canada, Australia, Ireland, you know. We're going to take questions and even relating with the study loan application process. So Chibuzo, over to you, you know, on this.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Nnamdi, for having us here. It's always a pleasure. My name is Chibuzo, so I'm with the Value Added Service team. Please, can anyone just confirm that they can hear me before I run? We're short on time.
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome,
Hey.
awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Lawal and Blessing. So, just like Nambi had already said, I will walk you through what you need to know as regarding financing, especially for those of us who are looking at studying abroad. So this is a bottleneck that we normally face, especially from Africa, but good news has come to our doorsteps. I will take our questions, but before I do that, let me just walk you through the basics, everything that you need to know as regards the loan, what are the terms, the interest rates, when are we going to pay back. So I believe that in the course of my presentation, you may have some of those questions already answered. All right, I'll share my screen now, and then we just have our questions. So if you have any questions, you can also just use the chat box. Just keep it there so you don't forget them, and then I would also get to them immediately I'm done with my presentation. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
Not yet.
Okay.
Can hear you. Can hear you. Can hear you.
I can see you. Okay,
All
I
right.
can see your screen.
All right. So for the sake of this section, I'll just be working us through everything about the loan, what is the purpose, and then the process flow. First and foremost, what does this loan do for you as a student? We've noticed that a lot of times. Is someone speaking?
No.
Okay. So we've noticed that a lot of times, what this financing does for us is just basically provide some form of financial stability for you, and this is what we are offering you here at Z Immigration. So first and foremost, we know that the funding you're going to be getting is going to help to increase your visa chances. So especially for a destination like US, where you're having those visa interviews, the financial partners that we have are going to be providing you already with visa support letter. So what this letter does for you as a student is just clearly states that we as a financial partner, as the bank, are taking care of everything finance for this student. So it just gives you some form of confidence even while you go for these interviews, which is always a key factor when we have them. So why do you have to leverage this solution? First and foremost, we have exclusive partnership with these banks. So we at Applyboard, in partnership with Z Immigration, we are not the ones disbursing the funds to you. We have partners that are going to be doing that. They are banks, international banks. This loan does not require you to have a collateral. It doesn't require you to have a co-signer. So just by yourself, we are not asking you for any land documents or any properties at all. We have amazing approval rates, over 60% in the industry. For this loan, we can begin to process it even before you receive an admission from the university. So you've submitted an application, you're expecting a positive feedback. You can reach out to Z Immigration and let us begin to process your eligibility. Let us find out, can you actually take this loan when you receive an offer? That is what eligibility is. So we find out, request for some basic documents from you, very basic documents. We take them, we log them on the bank portal. The bank comes back to us and tells us, okay, this can go, this cannot go. But just stay with me. I will get there and I will just walk you through what the process flow looks like. We have fast processing. So you can initiate your eligibility check with us and we should get back to you. So here we have 30 minutes, but I can tell you that in 24 hours so that we don't overpromise and underdeliver. We're going to log your details and we expect a feedback whether or not you're eligible in 24 hours. Of course, you're going to be getting comprehensive support from our team. So you'll be able to reach me. I also work with people who work out of this zone. So anytime at all that you feel you need to get an update, you should be able to reach out to us. So what does this loan do for you? First and foremost, it provides financing, and that's a stability factor for a lot of us. Secondly, it increases your visa chances, and then it helps to minimize postponement and ensure that your registration deposit is paid on time. Here it gets interesting. So first and foremost, you need to know that we don't do anything less than $10,000. and then we do a maximum of $100,000. So I believe that anything you're going to be needing is already covered here. You will do 50,000 per academic term for disbursements. So for UK, we only cover for your tuition fees. But for those of you who are looking at going to the US destination and some destinations in Canada as well, we can cover not just your tuition fee, but everything around your living expenses, insurance, books, everything you're going to be needing, even your travel expenses. So our financial partner covering for the US destination will be able to take care of that for you. You have a 10 to 20 year principal repayment period, and you can begin payments 6 months after graduation. So I need to put it in here that what this means is you have 10 to 20 years to begin to pay what you have taken. But you also have the option to begin to pay the interest on the loan while you school. We know a lot of Africans, especially from Nigeria, were quite industrious. And then when we always have this opportunity to travel abroad to study, we also shuffle with work. So whatever you're earning, you can begin to pay something on your interest while you're studying. You are not under any compulsion to begin to pay that until at least 6 months after you've graduated. I also need to mention, like I already said, for US destinations, we are able to cover for everything. So 10 to 20 year principal repayment period does not mean you have to wait for 10 to 20 years. Because some people are going to see it and say, 10 to 20 years, that's a long time. So I can just relax. Please, you don't need to relax. What the bank wants you to do is to relax. You don't want to relax because your interest is accrued yearly. So I'm going to get to interest rates, but for every single year, the interest rate is for every year. So for every year that you decide or that the loan lingers on, you're going to be having to pay the interest on the remaining amount if you have started paying your principal. But I'll just take your questions on this when we're done. So there are no prepayment penalty charges. So what does this mean? God comes through for you and you land an amazing job in your first year after graduation, and you just want to pay off everything. The bank is going to do a prorated check with your already calculated interest, and you're going to be paying for exactly that's what it means for that year. So let's take, for example, we've had your interest rate calculated. You've told us you want to pay in 3 years or 5 years. Some people can say, okay, 7 years, so that it's not burdensome. What the bank does, if you decide to then pay off in 1 year, is that they prorate that interest downward, and then they look at, okay, it wasn't up to 1 year. So if you were supposed to say 10% or 15% interest that you're supposed to be paying for 1 year, are you then paid off in 6 months? So the 15% is going to now go down to 7.5 or thereabout, so that you're paying the prorated interest rate for whenever. So there are no prepayment penalty charges at all. Our loan eligible destinations remain Canada, USA, UK, and Australia. We're still working on some other destinations, but Z Immigration is your go-to person. When we have any developments on this, just reach out to him and he will be able to also guide you. Our loan eligible programs at the point of speaking is Masters, MBAs, MAs, a couple of courses in Masters in Research. I think the UK specialist already mentioned, and then everything on the postgraduate side of things. So we don't cover for undergraduates. Let me just reiterate. We don't give loans to people who are going to do bachelor degrees. So if you're starting out or diploma courses or certificate courses abroad, our financial partners do not cover for that at this moment. The interest rate starts at 9.54%, and then it can go as high as 17%. But what we can do for you via Z Immigration here is, first and foremost, you need to be aware that these terms are quite negotiable. So if we get something, we've not even had a 17% in a long time. So we've had 15%, we've gone back to the bank and we say, this percentage will feel like it's a bit too much, what can we do? And then we just have some sort of tete-a-tete. Because of the volume of applications we do, we have that kind of leverage to have these negotiations, and then we can come to a reasonable percentage for you as a student. Like I mentioned earlier, a loan support letter is going to be given to you, and what this does for you is to help you with your visa interviews and your I-20 application. Disbursement is not done to your account so that we don't hear stories. Disbursement is done directly to the university, from the bank to the university. So if the university have confirmed your admission, that you are enrolled there, what they do is, and then we have also approved your loan amount from our end here. Disbursement goes directly to the university from the bank, so it doesn't hit your account. So for those of you who are looking at you going to the US destination, the school then finds a way, especially when they're coming for your living expenses, just like they have students who are in boarding house. They have something that is meant to you for every single month, every single term. So the university then disburses to you what you need for your living expenses, feeding, and the rest of them. So they take care of that. So our global service capability to make payment from anywhere in the world is our Flywire service. It's part of the value-added services, which you can also leverage working through Migration. What are the required documents that you need? So first of all, we're going to need to know, can you actually get this loan? So we don't use head knowledge to make that decision. We ask you to provide a reference letter, a reference detail. So reference details is not a reference letter. So you don't need to go back to your previous place of work to ask for a letter. We just need the details of probably a supervisor you worked with before, someone who can speak well on your behalf. We need their name, your relationship with them, their contact number, and their email ID. Then what are the documents we need from you? We need your international passport. We need your resume. If you have an offer letter already handy, please send it in. But if you don't, please, it shouldn't stop you from checking if you're eligible. It's not compulsory. It strengthens your profile, but it is not compulsory. Then your bachelor's transcript from your first degree and your government ID card. So by government ID card, this is not an international passport. International passport may have been issued by your country, but we are talking about your driver's license, your voter's card, or your national ID. So this is in addition to the international passport. Then if you have an English proficiency scorecard, fine. But if you don't have it, it's really not compulsory, it's not necessary. And then we need your home country complete address. What happens when this is done? This process takes literally 24 hours for us to just know if you're eligible. Can you get a loan? Yes, no, we can know that in 24 hours. So after that, we're going to request for proof of additional funds here for 3 months. So please, I need you to listen very carefully here. Now, this does not have to be in your name. I can't see my screen, so please, can someone just see or just let me know that we're still together?
We are still together. We can see your screen.
Thank you.
We are seeing your
All right,
screen.
so
Yeah.
for proof of additional funds that I was requesting, that I'm talking on now, this does not have to be your name. So do you know anybody who has a history of savings in their account who can lend you that document for the sake of this application? For at least, they've been saving in that account for at least 3 months. Good money. So depending on, we are not going to be able to go into how much should be in the account, because this is quite dependent on, first and foremost, the loan, the tuition that you're paying, and of course, if it's a US destination, what is the total disbursement, total amount that you're requesting for? So this is going to be dependent, but it's always advised that at least half of the tuition amount that you're requesting for loan is captured in that amount. So three months savings. And then secondly, we're going to need this address that you're already giving us here for on that list of documents. We now need a proof for it. So it could be your NEPA bill, a bank statement, utility bill, rent receipt, affidavit, anything that just shows us that this address you gave us here is concrete. So we need a document that shows for that. I think that will bring me to the end of my presentation, and then we'll just go to general questions around this. Thank you so much for your time. Mr. Namdi, over to you, sir.
All right, wonderful, Chibuzo. Thank you so much. Wow, amazing. Now, we're going to start to ask questions now. Okay, so now the section we're having right now is on is a Q&A session. Now we'll start with the study loan process as we just had it right now, and then any other question based on the UK process, the US, you can ask your questions at the moment, and then some of our speakers who actually spoke earlier are still around, and then they can answer to your questions. Okay, so the floor is open. If you have a question, you can kindly unmute yourself and then speak, please.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Chibuzo. This is John from Nigeria.
Oh, hi,
Can you hear
John.
me?
Nice to have you here. Very well, sir.
Yes, you said someone needs to have some fund in his account, or someone that would sponsor the person. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, that the account balance should reflect how much loan the person wants to get from this bank. Am I
No,
correct?
no, not exactly. Not exactly. So it should reflect at least half of the amount that the person is requesting for.
Okay, half of the amount the person is
Yes, sir.
requesting for. And you
Yes, sir.
said it must not be from the person's
It
direct
mustn't be the
name. It
person's
could be,
name exactly. Yeah, anybody at all.
okay, anybody at all. So
Yes.
is what I wanted to know is it that the fund will be there, or is just like a proof that the money is entering into this account continuously for 3 months, or the money should just be domiciled there to that amount for 3 months? Let me take it again. Is it that the person will be making deposit inside that account for 3 months, or at the time the person wants to apply for the loan, that there should be such amount in that account before the application process?
Okay, very, very, very apt question. So, what our financial partners are requesting for is that savings have been happening on this account over 3 months. So, it shouldn't just be like a lump sum because that can be tricky. You know, they're checking out a lot of things so that you're not trying to play fast one on them. They just need to be able to know that you have or you know someone who can actually vouch for you by sharing that statement with you who have saved for over 3 months. So it shouldn't be like a lump sum. We're not saying that a lump sum may not work, but like you would find out, maybe you'll also be speaking a lot to Z Immigration. What you would notice is that these cases it comes on a case-to-case basis. So when we submit your application and it's rejected, so we have the leverage to go back to them and say, what really happened? Then they can come back and say, okay, this bank statement, it's looking some way. Maybe the amount came in, lump sum just dropped into the account, and then no deposit has been made since then. So it can look tricky to them, but we always just advise just someone who has been saving over time, 3 months. So it doesn't mean that there will be no withdrawals on the account. No, doesn't mean that. Just that a savings account that could cook up that kind of amount even over 3 months. It must not be 3 months, it could be over 3 months as well. So not a lump sum, not just maybe open an account and just drop some money in there. No.
Okay, thank you very much.
Wonderful. One thing just to add to that, right? They also want to know how financially responsible you are. And that's the reason why they also will check that and also check your credit score as well. Before they can grant you the loan. So it's something that these financial companies do. And in terms of applying for the loan, you really have to show that, just like Chibuzo say, it must not be from you, it can be from somebody, especially relating with you, maybe your spouse or maybe a family member, but somebody relating with you, more importantly. All right, any more questions? I saw some hands earlier. Blessing, all right, Blessing can ask a question, please.
Okay. Mr. Chibuzo, good afternoon. My name is Blessing from Nigeria.
Hi, Blessing.
Yeah, please, I have a question. You said only covers for tuition fee. That's basically only UK. UK's own is only tuition fee. And you
Yes,
made
ma'am.
mention of something that the money is going to be sent directly to the school.
Yes, the money is going to be sent to the
And
school.
I think I heard you correctly when you said that the school will have to give you some money for your living expenses.
For the US destination, yes.
Okay, for the US destination.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's what I wanted to ask. And you said it takes only 24 hours to get.
24 hours for us to know. 24 hours for us to confirm your eligibility, yes.
So then how long does it take for us to disburse the money, like give us the money? How long does it take?
So the whole process, the whole loan process. So If you already have an offer and you're going, most of the time, some of these factors can be dependent on the school as well. Once we've confirmed your offer from the school, and then the whole visa thing, depending on your location as well, the disbursement can happen in 3 to 7 days. This whole process is quite fast. So first and foremost, we want to even know if we can give you this loan. So that is that eligibility. So that eligibility check is something that is very vital in the whole process. So once the bank has done that, and they've gotten back to us that, yes, we can actually give this person this loan. You remember the second part of the whole presentation where we have to request for those additional documents. Very, very vital. So once you can get those documents in, your loan approval amount is, once your loan amount is approved, everything now shifts from our end here at Z Immigration and Apply Board, shifts straight to the school. So it's going to be now dependent on the school. So once the school confirms to the bank that, yes, we can confirm that Blessing Omoren is enrolled in this school, and then their visa has been approved, then the money is sent directly to the school.
Oh, okay, Mr. Chibuzo, please, I still want to ask a question concerning the one you said you have to be saving, or it must not be on your name. You have to stay for 3 months in that account. What if you don't have someone that has maybe the half of your tuition, because you said the money should be at least half of your tuition fee? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So what if you don't have someone that saved half of your tuition fee in the account?
Yeah, I will allow Z Immigration to answer that question. Mr. Namdi, sir.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, Blessing, regarding what you just asked, now the thing about it is about the essence, right? The purpose of asking that you have to look at more. Now, why do the loan company want you to show that? Now, they want to know how well you can pay up. Okay. Remember, there's no collateral involved. There's no cosigner, right? Now, because of that, they are trusting you to give you this money, but simultaneously, right? You still have to show, okay, I'm financially responsible to taking care of this, either from me or having a source of funding from somewhere, and that's the essence of you showing that proof. And then it's also good. They may grant it. They may grant you the loan. They may grant you the loan, maybe even if it's not up to half of what you're asking for. But it's also they have the prerogative to do that, right? But just to stand a chance, okay, just to be on the good side, on the very, very high side of getting the approval, it is good you have something up to half of what you're asking for, for a high chance of approval. So that's basically what it's about.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
So, Mr. Z, I have a question for you.
All right.
Or should I keep it when it comes to the UK? The question.
Okay.
Because it's
all right.
not
You
about
can ask,
the
please. Yeah. No, it's fine.
Okay. I wanted
like,
to
is it
ask,
based on what like based on the communication today, or you can actually relate to me much later?
Okay, no problem.
Okay. All right. So much later we can. All right. Chibike, I'm seeing your hand up. You have a question to ask? Please, we can ask a question relating to everything that we talk about, not just the study loan, everything really, so that we can. This is the question. This is the Q&A section where we can, ask questions on everything that we really have looked at today. Yeah. All right. So Chibike, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Shiboza, well done. I'm Chibike from Lagos, Nigeria. All right, so my question is this. Concerning this loan, as you are doing a presentation, I saw you mentioned list of 10,000 and maximum of 100K. So can someone just apply the loan just for the tuition, just to pay for the tuition only, or must it cover both every other thing? Because you say that in America, for USA, the tuition covers some other things, not only tuition fee. So I want to understand if someone can just apply only for tuition loan and leave the rest for himself.
Thank you so much, Chibike. You have spoken like a responsible man. So this is a question I love a lot whenever it comes. I always advise, take what you need. Take what you need. I just feel the need to on my camera so that you can see the expression on my face. Please always take what you need. Just because a location is giving you everything doesn't mean that, remember, this is a loan. And even though you have 10 to 20 years to pay back, it's still something you're going to be paying back. Remember that there's an interest. So you don't want to have that hanging over your head, even when you're earning so well. You have other plans. Most needs to get married. You need to settle down. There are things you should do with money, going forward. So you have, our financial partners have made this very flexible, which is why you have that long time for you to pay up. But even for the US destination, you are not compelled to take for everything. If it's just your tuition that you need, that you can take care of the rest, please do just that. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Sorry, another question is this. Sorry, maybe I didn't take note of the percentage or the interest rate. What is it again?
Okay, it's a minimum of 9.54%. You can also go as high as 17%. So kind of varies in between. But it's not something you worry yourself about. Yeah, Mr. Namdi at Immigration will help you out with all of that. So once we get to that stage, your interest rate will be communicated to you. If you feel like it's something that is a bit too burdensome, we can go back to the bank and just see where we can negotiate it down and make it a bit more flexible for you. But the interest rates are quite flexible. So a minimum of 9.54 and a maximum of 17%.
Okay, so so for someone that's just going only for tuition loan, I don't need to provide all this national ID card, driver's license information. The school, the bank will just send it straight to the institution, right?
That's not exactly how the process flow is. Regardless of what you want, you're going to still have to provide those documents, all of it. So, okay. Yes.
All right. I will discuss the rest with Mr. Nandi.
All right. Okay. So, concerning the documents, right? Once you are about to apply, I could just send you the list of documents that you may have to show, for you to process the study loan application. All right. So we're gonna take two more questions before we wrap up. Okay, we're gonna be wrapping up right now. So Benjamin, your hand's up. Benjamin Lowell. Okay, your hand is up, so you can ask your question now. Yeah, Benjamin, can we hear from you? Are you there?
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Chibuzo, good afternoon. I just want to confirm something. Now, the loan does not require collateral of any sort. So I'm trying to think about it, that is the loan, does it cover for tuition deposit? Because you didn't mention anything regarding that. There is this deposit we need to pay before before resuming school, probably before visa application and all of that. Now, does this loan cover for something like that as well?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't cover for your tuition deposits for UK, especially for UK. So for US destination, that amount can be reimbursed back to you after it has been paid by you. So you remember that for our partners who are covering for UK, who are covering for US, they are willing to cover everything regarding your study, your travels, your insurance, living expenses. They take care of that. So they can also reimburse your tuition fee if you want that. But for a partner who is covering for UK destination, you would have to pay your tuition deposit yourself.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Good afternoon.
Okay, then. Okay, who? Lawa, is that you?
Yes, this is Lawa. Good afternoon.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Good afternoon.
Based on the first person who talked on the United States, she said some things about there are some schools who won't ask for tuition before going. Like there are some schools who ask for tuition part payment. So I want to know what kind of schools, like which schools they ask for those that won't ask for the tuition, um, like for the tuition payment
Okay.
before going.
All right. Wonderful. Okay. Right. Now there are quite some schools anyway. I think
Okay.
okay. I don't know if Nonya is here. Nonya is here. All right, but I could just take that. Is Nonya here?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
When it comes to schools without tuition deposit, there are so many. Okay, like some of the schools I highlighted on my slide, University of New Haven, University of Central Missouri, so many other schools do not require a tuition deposit, while some require low tuition deposit. So just when you're ready to apply, depending on the schools you're eligible for, we'll let you know the ones that do not require deposit. Then maybe we can put in applications for those ones.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And something to add to that, right, Nonya, is when you apply with us, because of our partnership with these schools, right, we also have the advantage, when it comes to tuition deposit as well. Because maybe if like some students, going through directly to the school, they may require you to make some deposit. But with our partnership with these schools, right, we now bridge that gap for what we do is that we bridge the gap for students, because they get to have you get to have some kind of preferential treatment, when it comes to tuition deposits and even the longevity of payment as well. You can also get all of those benefits, through us, because of our partnership with these schools. So it's something you can also look at and then, get started. Yeah. So any more questions? We're gonna wrap it up now. We've actually spent 2 hours on this webinar. And one important thing I just want to now to conclude, I'm gonna be concluding now.
Please,
I
I have a
know
question.
really, I mean, if we continue, I know we have quite some questions to answer to. Okay, what I'll do right now is will just take 2 more questions and then we'll call it a day. Okay, because there are some things I just want to tell us, and then we would. Okay, just ask your question. Then there are some things I want to say to you. Okay.
So this is my question. To the first person that took on the US study side. Sorry, what if someone is attached with a scholarship? Does he or she still need to present a bank statement? One. Then, if he or she has to, like, what's the minimum amount that there can be in the person bank statement, either personal or sponsor, alongside with the scholarship?
Yes. All right. So now it depends on the type of scholarship you have gotten. If you have gotten a government scholarship that takes care of everything, you will have to provide us with the government scholarship letter, okay, stating that these students will be funded by whatever this thing company or whatever this thing organization. But if you have gotten, let's say, like 50% scholarship from the school, and you have to pay the remaining 50%, that means you or your sponsor will have to present the remaining balance of your tuition fee for 1 year living expenses, or that remaining tuition fee for 1 year living expenses and tuition. So the actual amount actually varies by the institution.
Okay, noted.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I think let's see. Do you have any question? Then that'll be the last one we'll take now. Then we'll close.
No, I don't have.
All right. Okay. All right. Now, just to say 1 or 2 things now before we round up. Now, we would also create next week. By next week, we're going to be having a Q&A. Okay, and then for those who are looking at beginning their application process, okay, you also would you can get to start. Now, one thing I want to mention to you is that the thing about it is these study pathway that we've really mentioned, okay, they have lots of opportunities. Every one of them, these four major countries we looked at today, they have their opportunities, and one thing about it is based on your preference. There are some schools, and maybe for somebody who is looking at, oh, I really want to move in May, or I really want to move as quick as possible. UK is one of the quickest, travel process destination. All other island also have its permanent migration process, which is very, very, when you talk about permanent residence, so you see each of these countries have their particular opportunities and pathway for international students. But one thing I want to bring to your mind is when it comes to funding, the way we approach like our process is something that we can actually do even better. If you're looking at traveling, okay, in the month of September, usually these countries that we talked about, they usually have their major intakes are in January, May, and September, the three major intakes in a year. Now, if you're looking at traveling in the month of September for the September intake, your application process should have begun. And that's the mistake, some people do. They actually start up late, and then they have maybe in between the lines where they have to mitigate some issues or try to solve problems. They tend to have some kind of delays, and things keep deferring and all that. But one thing you should do is you start early, and sometimes the financing that you need may not be totally available from the start. But that is where we bring you these financial opportunities, like maybe, oh, this school have a scholarship availability, you can take advantage of it. Or maybe the study loan that we talked about here, you can take advantage of this study loan process to actually cushion your financing. Don't wait. You can't wait when everything is readily available, then you can start. You probably may wait for a long time, but when you get started and then you find out that, oh, okay, maybe let me just get an offer letter first. Then from getting an offer letter, there are some schools, like for example, Nonye told us, there are some schools in the US, you don't require deposit. You don't require deposit at all, but you also have to show your living expenses and your tuition, availability of your tuition. Now, all of these schools, right, and some other schools too that may want you to pay tuition deposit depending on the country, you can plan this, right? You can plan, okay, but the first step you gotta do is to start up with you start off with applying for an admission. You start off with applying for an admission, then right into that, you can look into your financials based on if you're going to be sponsoring yourself. Okay, there are some, I will have to get some kind of sponsorship, or maybe I would want to get some money. Now, remember, if you're not aware, there are some banks too. Banks are also into proof of funds, so we can also help you with that to cushion your financing. You must not have the whole money in your account. There, we can go around some things, based on your financials. Then also, when you also require some kind of fund in terms of paying tuition fees, we have the study loan available now, and that's the reason why I emphasized earlier. When it comes to financing, at this time, you can't say there, because of financing, you are not able to complete your application process, or maybe your location process overseas. At this time now, there are so much opportunity you are available now that you can take advantage of. All you need to do is just have the right information, like we have brought. We can't say everything in one day, right? But you start up with the right information. You start with by having the right information, ask the questions, and then get started. That is where it all begins. You get started, and then within the time frame, you start early, so that within the time frame between now and your intake period, you must have done everything. Apply for your visa early, and then wait for your visa. So, and when it comes to visa, we can also take you through on your visa process, everything about it, and all of what it takes, to getting your visa approved. So we can do all of that for you. So it all boils down to you getting started. Okay, getting started. So with all the information that you've gotten today, it's important that you start right away to getting things done. Okay, getting things done. For some people, they may not have their documents readily available. Start getting your documents. The major important documents in terms of your school application process: your international passport, your transcript, and then your certificate. These three are major. All other ones can be sorted out. We can also get into doing those ones for you, like writing your SOP, reference letters, all of those things, right? We can actually help to mitigate all of that for you. But it starts with you getting started, your documentation, then getting started with the application process. And with us, everything is made easy for you. And that's the reason why, we are having this for you, so that you can see that we are here for you. We can help to make things much easier for you and even quicker as well. Because of our partnership with these schools, our application process can be much more faster, and then much more. There are some other kind of preference too. You can also get eventually. Closing this webinar, and before I close, I really want to thank our um, speakers, in this webinar. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the effort, of coming and then having this webinar, with our, with everybody here present. Chibuzo, Nonye, Bukola, Divine. Thank you so much, Sonia. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for joining in this webinar. It was quite a long one. It was really, really a long one. But I mean, for many of us here, we stayed to the end. I really want to thank you for your time, for your patience, to hearing us, in today's webinar. Now, next week, we are planning a Q&A. The reason why we're having a Q&A is because for some people, I'm sure that maybe they have some other questions, and then they want to get started, and you're wondering, okay, I want to get started now. Now we can actually help. Now the Q&A will be, I'm going to have a Q&A just with, I'm going to be answering to some questions, and then how you get started. So we're going to organize something like that next week, so that you can really get to start immediately. And then another thing also in that regard, it's based on some people who quite didn't connect, or maybe they're connected but couldn't stay to the end because of network issues and some of that. We have the videos ready there. After today, we're going to be putting up the video online, and then we're going to be sharing the link so that you can get to watch. And then you probably could have more questions to ask, and then we can also answer to your questions and get you started right away. All right, that is it for now. Thank you everyone for joining in, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. And if there's any questions, if there's anything that you want to begin the application process, just send us a message, okay? Or you can send me a WhatsApp message, or you can visit our office at 3 Atbara Street in Wuse to Abuja. We are here for you. And then you can also check us out on our social media platforms. Send us a message that we can put you through on how to get started. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Over.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for having us.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you,
everyone.
Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you
so
Mr.
much.
Chu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Chibuzo. Bye.
Thank you. The record.